Last week on the show,
I realized that I said, hey, by the way, I always buy just a catch of gonja in a supermarket. You know, they weigh it on a weighing machine. I buy 20,000, selling 10,000 gonjas. 10,000 times 40. How much is that? That is 800 million. Times 2, 1.6 billion only from gonja.
Tonight we are in Kabale, a district southwest of Uganda, known for its rolling hills and stunning terrace contours. Though encroachment has become an issue, the government is making efforts to preserve the land's productivity, a topic we'll explore further in upcoming episodes. In today's feature, we focus on a crop introduced to Uganda in 2008, a key ingredient in beer production. You know Ugandans love. We will be speaking with Aloysius, the Agriculture Extension Officer at Nile Breweries, to learn a little bit more.
Barley is a temperate crop. By temperate, we mean that it is a crop that is grown in a cold environment at a high altitude. For example, it does well at an altitude which is above 2,000 meters above sea level. This crop in Uganda, it is grown in areas like Kabale, here where we are, Rwenzori, Kapchorwa, because all these areas are located at an elevation which is high, the meters 2,000 and above. This crop was introduced in Uganda in 2008, and the Nile Breweries started working with the farmers, smallholder farmers, to promote its cultivation. And the farmers embraced it and have made a lot of money from it. And as a company, it has invested a lot in promoting the crop, ranging from giving out free seed to farmers, training them in agronomic practices, training them in improved post-harvest handling practices, but also Nile Brewery supports farmers with machinery, the threshers, the planters, among other things. Just like any other crop, it requires good soils, not those ones which are like in the wetland. It requires raised, gentle slope soils where drainage is good, but also the soils must be fertile. Or if they are not very fertile, then a farmer should be able to use fertilizers when you are planting. It requires all good management practices ranging from land preparation. Land should be prepared well to give a fine tilth, because barley is a very small grain. The seed for barley is very small. So a farmer, you need to prepare the soil or the seed bed very well, such that it is able to germinate very well. At planting, we recommend all farmers should plant in rows or in lines, because planting in line increases yield. A farmer uses less seed, but also the garden is easier to manage. Line planting, a farmer is supposed to plant 30 centimeters from one row or from one line to another. And to boost the crop, we recommend all farmers should use fertilizers, because fertilizers increase yield. That one everyone knows. As a company, we support all our farmers with fertilizers. We have a credit scheme where we support farmers with fertilizers and the chemicals for disease control and pests. So in an acre, a farmer uses 30 kilograms of seed and 50 kilograms of fertilizers. Barley is a cereal crop. It is an annual crop which only takes 90 days. 3 months and the farmer, you are able to get money. It takes 90 days, 3 months, maybe if you just add 2 weeks for it to dry up very well, but only 3 months are enough for a farmer to harvest. And in a year, a farmer has 2 seasons. So a farmer is able to increase his incomes by utilizing both seasons. However, we recommend that farmers rotate the crops. If you have planted here barley, don't plant there barley again, because we have to protect the nutrients. So we don't want our soils to lose fertility. So in doing the rotation, farmers are able to protect their soils from depletion. So at harvesting, that is where a farmer has to be very critical, because this barley, the brewer, the people who are in the factory, they are interested in a grain which is alive, or the embryo should be alive such that for it to make beer. So a farmer, after identifying your garden, it has turned golden brown, the farmer is supposed to go and harvest that barley and thresh it, winnow, such that it meets our standard. If a farmer doesn't handle it very well, the embryo will die. And if the embryo dies, the beer will not be made from that grain. The moisture content that Nile breweries requires is 16%, while the germination capacity is 95 and above. Germination capacity is the life of the embryo. Is the embryo in the grain able to germinate? Because we said that the brewing process requires the grain which has a live embryo. So those 2 quality parameters are very key. But also the size of the grain should be big enough. A farmer, you don't need to replant what you have harvested. One, it will not give you the good yield that you need, because we give farmers seed, moreover free seed, and this is hybrid seed which is tested to give farmers good yield so that they are able to make more money. So for replanting harvest, we don't recommend. We give you the seed. As Nile breweries, we have a huge market for barley. In fact, the market might be bigger than the production which is currently in Uganda. So a kilogram of barley goes at 1,610 shillings per kilogram. There is gold in the crop, and the demand is so huge that sometimes it may not be satisfied.
At the recently concluded Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic held in Kabale at the Kashwekano Zonal Agriculture Research and Development Institute, Nile Brewers seized the moment to introduce the new crop. They provided an in-depth presentation on its benefits and how farmers can get started with cultivating it. Aloysius once again led the way in highlighting this promising farming opportunity.
Here with me, we have come to exhibit seed. You can see this is the seed for barley, which we provide to the farmers at a free cost. We don't charge them, we give them free seed, they go and produce, then after producing, we buy from them. So you can see the packages are here. This is still intact, but this is just a sample. So this is how the crop looks like when it is still coming out from the ground. So this is the seedling stage. And we recommend that farmers, when they are planting, here with me is the fertilizer that we give the farmers to use, such that the crop can grow very well, and at the end, at the time of harvesting, a farmer is able to get good yield. When they got the barley is in the garden, just like any other crop, it is also affected by diseases and pests. So as a company, we have a scheme where we give the farmers inputs. And these inputs, we have the fungicide. In case a farmer's garden is affected by diseases, we have foliar, farmers are able to have access to these fungicides, which they use in their gardens to prevent or protect against diseases. But also, if the garden gets pests, for example, they can be aphids or all forms of pests. We have pesticides. This is called Sanda. We also give them to farmers on a credit basis, such that when they bring their harvest, then as a company we can recover. But also for weeds, we also have approved chemicals. This is husk, which we give to the farmers to help them weed. This crop here, you cannot weed if you have planted it on a large scale. You cannot go through weeding with the hands. So we recommend and we train all our farmers to use these chemicals to reduce on the costs of labor. So here, this is the grain which has come from the farmer, and you can see it is clean and it meets the standards, the NBL quality standards or quality requirements, which are able to enable the company to produce beer. So here, this is the product which is made from this grain which we have bought from the farmer.
Kwenga kutwatandikiye kuhinga nawe breweries, twahinga Barley, twatandika kugira mentase yongeyeho, twatandika twayigesa abana, twahafize mu mashomero, twatwabona kubwayika umwana yarwara, umutwara mu irwariro nangana warwara, esente zoyiha mu Barley zikutwara mu irwariro kari tukaba tinentasa bumwe nawe turarwara tukaguma mu kanke ntama aho kube Barley tukoreye cyangwa umunonga
konka kuba turetere engano turazihinga zimare emyezi 3 tusharure tubone sente kandi sente zitugashire munonga twagura itaka ekitongore sha Nile Breweries kituretere ntunguka y'amani mu makageto.
Before Nile Breweries brought to Barley farming in our area, we have been engaging in different types of crops. We have been planting maize, beans, Irish potatoes, but now it is 10 years and above planting Barley brought by Nile Breweries. I had 5 acres of land, but when they brought this system of planting Barley in our area, I bought about 3 acres in addition to the land I have, and all that money I got it from Barley.
Welcome back from the break. We are still in Kabale at the Kashrenkano Zonal Agricultural Research and Development Institute, where the Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic is being held. Our journey through this research center continues as we uncover even more insights. We are here to simplify farming and help make it more profitable for you. There is so much more to learn with farmers benefiting from hands-on training sessions led by various agriculture experts.
In Kigezi, we have the best climate, one of the best climate in Uganda. For livestock production, most especially dairy farming, our climate is so conducive that can accommodate high producers, animals from temperate climates and environments. Here at our farm, we have only the Frisian animals. It dates back from when we had colonialists, or our forefathers. Can I call them like that? This unit, formerly it was a DFI, but currently under NARO, it was changed into a zonal agricultural research institute, and it is handling livestock farming.
Joseph, the head of the Animal Resources Research Program at the center, is actively working with farmers in Kabale, Kigezi, Rubanda, Rukunjiri, and Ruchiga districts, among others. His focus is on providing crucial guidance on effective livestock farming practices tailored to the unique challenges of this region. The program is making significant strides in improving livestock management and productivity, ensuring that farmers have the knowledge and resources to thrive in these areas.
Here we evaluate the performance of animals under this climate and environmental conditions to give farmers the technologies that fit their society and communities.
In a region where land tenure systems present challenges, farmers are turning to regenerative agriculture and integration techniques. Joseph explains how these approaches are helping them thrive.
Much of our technologies look at optimization, using what you have. In Kigezi, we have a problem of land tenure system. Farmers have got small pieces of land and they are again subdivided. So the best way to manage livestock in Kigezi is intensive management system of keeping livestock. And in this, we can't have livestock alone with the dairy. Why? There is food security. That's why we are looking at regenerative agriculture. So in our transformation that we want to see in Kigezi, we intend to see in 7 years to come, we want to see a farmer integrating dairy, potatoes, and on the bands having forage that is coriander, napier, and other legumes. The best thing with coriander, it is a forage, but it has other purposes. It fixes nitrogen in the soil, but also it protects our upper soils from runoff to lower ends where we shall not utilize it. The fight is already ongoing. Government versus the communities. The communities have to leave the wetlands, but that's where the fertile soils are currently because they run from up downstream. So how do we prevent that? If you have bands and the terraces and you plant fodder for livestock, you prevent the runoff, but also you benefit in getting forage that can feed your livestock. And also we are looking at quality versus quantity. We are not looking at very many animals because in Kigezi you can't accommodate very many animals. The hills affect the animals. How? Moving from lower areas, if you are doing the extensive management system, moving from the lower areas to the upper areas, it consumes a lot of energy. Remember, an animal needs energy for its maintenance, growth, and if it is pregnant, gestation. In that form, an animal that is pregnant, it may end up even aborting. Why? The animal first looks at itself. Whatever it gets, it's for itself. Any excess goes for production, and if there is gestation, as well, that direction. So if what the animal consumes is not enough for itself, it expels whatever it has. Why? It needs to survive. Yeah, and it is the animal first before it thinks of anything else. Our performance with animals would have been better, as you can see the quality of breeds we have. But in our paddocks, much of the grazing happens down, and still animals have to come upstream because that's where our residence is. But in that, we lose a lot of energy that would be transformed into milk. We are transforming this unit into a zero grazing system. We've grown fodder up there in our gardens, and that fodder will be used to feed our animals. But also, we want to collect more manure because, yes, our soils are as well depleted. The more you confine the animals, it is easier to collect the manure, and you take it up where you grow the fodder, and the fodder comes from up to this side where we shall feed our animals for the best of production and productivity.
Farming opportunities brought to you by Bukola Chemical Industries.